I'm never giving up on BBB. There's so much in there that is really important.
Hey everybody, it's Andrew here. Welcome back to the channel. So we have an update from Nancy Pelosi that I thought you all would find interesting. She's going to talk about the federal budget, which would avoid a government shutdown. In that budget, she talks about trying to address supply chain issues, which could address inflation, lower prices for the American people. And they're really addressing the issue that people are suffering from higher prices, right? And the more this goes on, the more inflation keeps going on, the more things continue to get expensive for people, the more likely it is that we get either more stimulus or we get an increase in benefits in the form of Social Security, SSI, and SSDI. So if you guys remember a few months ago, they extended the federal spending budget, but only for a few months. And now at this point, they have about 2 weeks to get this done. I think it's February 18th, somewhere in the middle of February, but they have to extend that to avoid a government shutdown. And in that budget, there's not going to be stimulus per se, but there's going to be some things in that budget that addresses inflation and hopefully will start to lower prices for the American people and end the suffering that everyone is going through. And on top of that, she also talks about the Build Back Better plan, saying that they are still trying to get that done. Obviously, it's not going to be as big as they hoped for, but they're still trying to get some smaller version of that bill done. So this video is going to be an update from Nancy Pelosi, folks. I think it's going to be a pretty good one. So if you'd like to stick around, let me know your thoughts. Let's take a look, see what Nancy Pelosi had to say, and I'll see you on the next video.
And this is what is happening in the Biden administration to make us more self-sufficient with American workers. It's an imperative for America's security and the financial security of America's workers and our families that we are self-sufficient. Competes meets this challenge, and I'm going to take the time to talk about Competes because it's a very, where is it? This is not the bill. This is just what we sent out about the bill. It's very intense. It's intensive. Competes meets this challenge first by investing $52 billion to support the manufacture of chips and semiconductors. Do you know how many chips are in an electric car? 2,000. Non-electric car, 1,000. But the absence of chips is hindering our manufacturing of cars. We need more chips, and we need them to be made in America. They are the lifeblood of modern technology, but are increasingly being made abroad, again, sometimes in countries of concern, leaving us vulnerable on supply chain issues. And that makes cost higher, and it contributes to inflation. We are bringing production back. So that's $52 billion, chips, semiconductors. Secondly, the CHIPS Act invests $45 billion to support manufacture and acquisition of critical goods or industrial equipment essential for our national security. And I'm going to read you this from here and hope that you would read this. It authorizes $45 billion for grants, loans, and loan guarantees to support supply chain resilience and manufacturing of critical goods, industrial equipment, as I say, and manufacturing technology. This is how it relates to our economy and our families. Supports the manufacturing or equipment acquisition of critical goods or industrial equipment that are essential for the national security and economic vitality. Critical goods include key components and products for public health, biological preparedness, information and communications technologies, energy and transportation sector industrial base, and agricultural commodities and food product supply chains. This is a magnificent piece of work, and I'm very eager. I'm very proud of the support it has had, as I said, in a bipartisan way. I don't know if that would be in the votes. So I told you something about that. I can talk more about it if you want. But we must continue to reduce our dependence on goods made in other countries, especially countries of concern, and bring production back home. Said one was the $52 billion for chips. The second was $45 billion for the supply chain. Third, and this is not about money, but one connection between infrastructure and omnibus is that some of the money in the infrastructure bill cannot be freed up until we pass the omnibus bill. So for these and other reasons, to meet the needs of the people, to show that Democrats deliver for the people, and we want to do so in a strong bipartisan way, we have to get that. We're hoping to get that done as soon as possible in terms of the infrastructure bill. The omnibus bill. I'm never giving up on BBB. There's so much in there that is really important in terms of child tax credit, in terms of family health care for families, that is to say not just children, but seniors or siblings with disabilities and the rest, with universal pre-K. This is it's about lowering cost for the American people, lowering the cost of health care, lowering the cost of child care, lowering the cost of family care, lowering the cost of education at the pre-K level, and we must get something done. And of course, a very important part of it is what we're doing about the climate crisis. And there are plenty of things in there where I think that we can find common ground. So I'm not giving up on the PPP.